Hi, I'm Michael Benedik. I'm a signature tyer for Umpqua, and I'm happy to be at AvidMax today tying some flies. This next pattern we're going to do is a grasshopper pattern. It's not an Umpqua signature pattern, but it's still a great fly. I fish it a lot. It's kind of a fun one to tie. I call it the everlasting Gobhopper, and this one is really modeled off of a chubby. I'm sure you can see the similarities. I just kind of wanted to take the classic chubby fly and kind of tailor it more into a hopper specific pattern. It floats really well, pretty durable fly, great for a dry dropper setup. I love it on creeks. I fish it in the smaller size on the creeks. This is a size 12. So I do 12s, 10s, and 8s, but it's just really an overall good pattern. It doesn't take too long to tie. I'll kind of explain some of the details as we go. Before we get started, I just wanted to mention the vise I'm tying on. This is a Regal with the hook jaw. It's a really great vise. Regal's a great company, family owned and operated. Everything's made here in the USA. It's just a great company, great customer service. So let's go ahead and get started. This is the TMC 5262. Like I said, it's a size 12, so a little bit of a smaller hopper, but just a really great size, I feel like. So we've got UTC 140, and I'm using yellow. I should mention this pattern can be done in a lot of different colors. Pink is great, olive's great. I use the tan foam with those typically, and then even like a chartreuse color is really good. And then I also do it in like a black purple, more of like a cricket looking pattern. But tan and yellow are probably the two that I fish the most. Okay, so bring that thread back to the eye, and then I'm going to put down a little bit of super glue, and I'm going to tie in some 2mm foam and tan, and this will kind of be the underbody under the dubbing, but it'll give us some shape to the body. I'm going to put a little more super glue on top, just because I don't want anything spinning around. And then we're going to wrap the foam forward, and I'm going to pull pretty tight, and then as I go forward I'm going to ease up on it, and then we're going to get kind of a nice tapered shape out of that under foam. Trim that off, and then I'm just gonna lightly wrap back over the foam to the end of the hook, and then here's where we're gonna start our dubbing. So this is ice dub UV light yellow. Like I said, tan is good, pink is good. There's a lot of different colors you can use. So just while I'm working on the dubbing here, one of the great things about tying flies or developing your own patterns is I just love the whole process, like the idea, design, test, redesign, retest, just the whole way through. Most of the flies, I feel like there's a pretty big redesign, retest process just to get everything dialed in. But this was one of the few where it just worked right off the bat without really any adjustments. I was fishing a small creek in the San Juans, and it was just one of those great days where I was getting a fish like every other cast, and it was just awesome. And then from there, I tried it on freestones, different types of water, and it's just been good. I mean, a chubby is a great fly, right? So anywhere you would fish a chubby, you could fish this. Obviously, you wouldn't fish this as a stonefly like maybe sometimes you would with a chubby, but this is just a great pattern anytime the fish are eating hoppers. Okay, so at this point we're going to tie in the legs. The legs are a little bit unique on this fly. I wanted a flashy fly. I wanted to get the fish's attention. So I've pre-made the legs. The thicker tan material is pearl core braid, and then the thinner red material is the Chironomid braid in pearl red. And so what I do is I tie an overhand loop in the tan material, I stick the red piece through, and then I cinch down really tight with the tan. And then the key is you gotta add some super glue to the knot just to make sure it holds. So we'll tie that in. I like the knot to go a little bit past the bend where we started the dubbing. Do that one, and then we'll tie one in on the other side. And then I like to do kind of a couple of wraps back behind those legs just to get them to flare out a little bit. Okay, so then we can cut out the excess. And then at this point, just to really secure them, I like to just add a little bit of super glue. Okay. So now we can go back to the dubbing. And then I like to check the bottom of the fly as I go, just because that's what the fish are gonna see. Just make sure it looks okay. All right, add a little bit more dubbing. So we're gonna go backwards just a little bit. Okay, so now we're at the point where we can tie in the foam. So I've pre-cut a piece. This is a 4mm foam, and on this smaller fly, I've cut it to about 5mm wide. If you tie the next size larger, which would be a 10, I go 6mm wide, and then on an 8, I go 7mm. So just step it up a millimeter each time. So when I get that in, and I want the foam to just go a little bit past the back part there. Next we're gonna tie in the legs. So this is a yellow leg with black barring. You can really use whatever leg you want. I usually use yellow or tan. Actually, before we put that leg in, let's cut the foam so it's not in our way. So we'll cut that foam, and then I like to just cut a little bit off the corner just so it's not such a sharp angle. Don't have to do too much. Okay, now we're ready for the leg. So this is like a half a piece of leg material. But like I said, like even the leg type, if you prefer like a span flex, you can use that, whatever you like, it doesn't matter too much. So we'll get that in there, and then the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna tie in the wing material. This is the EP Trigger Point Supreme in lemon gray. I just like the color of it for a hopper. I think it looks pretty good. But you can use any type of poly yarn or whatever you would use on a chubby or another hopper, it doesn't matter. So we'll tie that in right on the top, and then I extend that back just a little bit farther, and then snip this out. Okay, and then the next step is to put a little bit of a cider foam on. So I've just got a very tiny piece of 2mm yellow foam cut. We'll tie that right on top of the wing, and then we'll snip out the front part. And then we're going to go back to the dubbing. Do a couple wraps right there, and then I like to peel the foam up and go right behind the eye, and then you can kind of lift the foam up. To do your whip finish. And then at this point, I usually just trim out. You get some longer pieces with that dubbing, so I just want to trim that out a little bit. Okay, we're getting close to being done, so we'll just break that leg, and then I like to push them forward and even them out, and then bring that side kind of together, even them out. So that looks pretty good. The very last thing, we're gonna go back to the super glue. I like to add just a little behind the cider and push it down, and that'll kind of angle the wing down a little bit, and then I like to get a fair amount of super glue and just run it across the top of the dubbing, and then just kind of push the foam down into it. Okay, and then actually two more things. I'm gonna trim. You can do this when you make the legs, is probably the better way to do it. But I'm gonna trim that red part of the leg material, and then we need to put some super glue on that so it doesn't fall apart. So we'll do both sides of that just to add durability. And then we'll go ahead and add some eyes. All right. So that's the everlasting Gobhopper. Hope you guys are able to tie some out and try them out this summer. Thanks for watching.